right, we're on air.
Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Thursday, May 21st, 2015, and I'm here live with John Lawson, who I'm sure all of you guys know. John Lawson is CEO of ColderICE. He's eBay titanium seller shoestring king. And John, would you like to say hi to the folks, please?
Hello, folks. How are you guys?
Guys, I want you to know how patient this man has been with me over the last 2 days. We tried to get this going yesterday, but I could not get it going on my end. I mean, just no matter what we tried, we couldn't do it. John was able to get it started, but then he had some technical difficulties on his end, so we postponed it till today, and hopefully things will go clearly.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. Today we're going to be chatting about eBay mainly, and this is actually a follow-up to a podcast or a telephone conversation John had with somebody a couple of weeks ago that I want to talk briefly about before we get into the eBay topics. John, did I not contact you a few weeks ago and discuss this with you ahead of time?
For this interview.
Yes. I want the public to know that I'm not pulling anything and not ambushing you with any questions that you're not already anticipating.
Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. This is like, what is that show on Bravo where they, bring down the lights and they're going to ask me 5 questions and I get to pass on one of them.
I haven't seen that show, but this is not a hard-hitting show. This is the friendly show. What's not to like about Crazy New York Driver?
There is nothing not to like. I just want to tell you, I've been watching you for years, and I can't remember the exact first show that I ever watched, but you had me on the floor. I was dying laughing. And I've been watching you for a long time, dude. I'm a big fan, so it's really kind of an honor to be on the show with you because I don't remember what it was. You had to be driving a cab at the time because it was something, and it was hilarious. You were tripping. I was like, this guy is no holds, man. He's straight shooting it. So, at any rate, it's good to be on.
Well,
go ahead, ask.
Thank you, John. And, I'm the one that's honored to have you. Your name is way, 1,000 times more popular than mine. And I only hope that someday I'm as popular as you. I know that's not going to come to pass, so I'll just have to settle for being the Crazy New York Driver.
Well, I feel you, and whatever. You have no idea. You have no idea, man.
But John, before we talk about eBay, which is really what I want to talk about, I want to address the fact that a few weeks ago, you were in a telephone interview with a person that's been stalking me for 3 years who goes by the YouTube identity eBay is a joke. My question to you is, John, when you agreed to talk to him on the phone, did you know that he was the person stalking me?
No, I didn't know he was stalking you or that you guys actually had beef until, I got on the call and like the first thing about was some, but of course I guess there's issues, and it's a personal thing and I just, prefer to opt out.
I don't want you involved in it, but I just wanted to clarify for the people that you do not condone any of the things he said about me or any of the negativity that he's putting out there about me.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to further clarify that you did not know he was going to ambush you with those questions about me like he did.
Had no idea.
Right.
It was supposed to be a show simply about the SEO eBay.
Well, John, I should tell you that some of your last answer got cut off, as a few of the other answers did, because of the technical problems on your end.
Yeah.
And I know you're aware of those problems.
Yeah. So basically what I said is I did not know what was going to happen in the first part of the interview. I danced, and did a real nice, hey, kind of keep me out of the center because people have their own issues, and I prefer to play, like I think I said on that interview, I want to be the Swiss.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
I don't blame you a bit. I mean, this has been going on for 3 years. Fox News actually exposed this guy on national TV for what he's doing, not just on eBay, but in other venues as well. And he just will not go away. Me, personally, I don't even want to talk about the guy. But I did have several people contact me after your little telephone interview, and they wanted clarification, and that's why I asked for this face-to-face summit.
Yeah, hey guys, I appreciate that. I want to clear the air. I am totally willing to talk to anyone about what will help our host and really trying to help people. And no, I'm not about trashing anyone's rep on any side. I don't want that.
Sure.
I want peace. Can't we all get along?
Works for me. I could hear how uncomfortable you were on that interview, and I felt sorry for you. But again, I wanted to talk to you because he is trying to reach out and attack other mutual friends of ours, such as Gladys and Scott. Lately, he's been doing a lot of negative postings and videos about Scott. Don't even mention the guy's last name, but you know who I mean. And it's just got to stop.
Yeah. I don't know what to say, man. Here's one thing I will say, is because I got a kid and she's in high school, and she had a pretty tough first part of her high school, just with people not understanding one another. That's the word I will use, because when you sit people down and you talk to people face to face, there's a whole different thing that goes on. And I would encourage everyone to, before you do anything in terms of confronting people, especially in the space of the web, it's really try to have a conversation one-on-one. And then if y'all got beef, it's real beef, and you're beefing with each other. It's not a he said, she said, I heard, oh, here's what I'm thinking about. It's like, no, I talked to that. This far, I'm not privy to. I don't think it's productive, and I'm always about and hopefully we can work it out. If we can't, at least we can be, cool. Because there's a lot of people in this space, and we have to see each other. At least for me, when I'm traveling or at a show. You see a lot of other people that you are in the same space with all the time, and it's not. Who needs the beef? It's like, dude, we don't have to be best buddies, at all. But at least when I see you across the room, either I can stay away or we can just, wave hi, whatever. All this bullshit and threatening people, it's just, it's unnecessary.
Sure. John, I've been on YouTube since 2007 making these eBay videos. And, I try and make them every Friday to try and help people sell on eBay. I want people to make money on eBay. I'm making money on eBay. I got the eBay swag on, right?
He's got eBay swag.
I got 100% feedback. I'm top rated. I try and do the right thing. But I do realize it is hard to sell on eBay because there's a lot of issues people run into, and they don't know how to handle them. So I decided to make my channel and help people out with various questions, and I try and answer every question. But lately it's been just so unbelievably popular that I just can't stay ahead. So that's why I like when people leave comments in the comment box below, so they can actually help each other to some extent.
Right.
You know, I get so many letters from people saying how my channel has helped them on eBay and they've become successful and they look forward to every Friday. And that really makes it all worthwhile. You know, put in the extra time, doing the research. I mean, a few people write in and say, well, what about the stalker? Has he bothered you? He's a nonsense. You know, he's just, I don't devote my time to him. I devote my time to helping people. The reason he doesn't like me is because I am a successful eBay seller, and he has been booted off eBay, and he admits to being booted off eBay in 2006, and he was making these stealth accounts to try and get people back on eBay, and he asked me to give him a shout out in my videos, which I refused to do because I will not give a shout out, nor do I condone any of that kind of behavior. And that's basically what started the animosity between us. He doesn't like me because I had to make a video 3 years ago telling the folks that he was using my name to promote his own self-serving stealth accounts. I said, I don't want any part of eBay as a joke. He's not my friend. I'm done with him. And then he attacked me from then on. And that's what started it.
Ouch. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to explain to you what the situation was with this guy. All right? So just,
cool, man.
you know, on the internet, you got to, like we tell kids, be careful. Don't give your information to strangers. And you're telling the same thing.
Yeah, you know what? Here's something that's pretty cool or pretty interesting about eBay just in general as the community, is that I think so many of us were so in love with eBay that you know, and I'm talking about going back to like the early part of 2000, you know, 2000. We get the culture of eBay, and I think it we fell in love with a thing, because eBay is a thing. It's not a person. It can't return feeling and emotion. I hear people say, well, eBay doesn't care for us. I'm like, well, how can it? It's a thing. A thing can't care for you. It's like, oh, my car. If you love your car, you can't love you back. Love is something that you give and expect something in return. And I think when eBay went through a lot and people had gotten caught up, a lot of, you know, fish got caught up in that tuna net, and when they were trying to get the processes and the procedures together, it really got a lot of struggle for certain eBay sellers. People that were doing great things were literally shut down overnight. Horrible, horrible stories I've heard on both sides. And impact. On top of that, you have specifically, I think of several blog sites that went up, and a very negative tone. I think the vitriol a lot of people had. It's hard to hate something that you didn't love before, you know. And I think eBay itself has some work to do as an organization, as a PR company, to deal with that. They're always having to deal with you know, the emotions of its I want to say followers, but not followers, but almost we're fans. We're fans of eBay. You get my eBay cup. But I think eBay needs to go back to recognizing the power of its community and really reeling those guys back in. And both of us, you know, those of us who are currently on the platform and those of us who are formerly on the platform, probably need to have a little, you know, a hug out, because it's really not. It's not about us, man, and it's all about money for eBay. and I'm hoping to see more of that when they have this separation coming up, and they'll be able to focus back in, I think, on the platform as a whole. It won't be separated between, well, here's what we need to do for this, and make sure that, the PayPal community. I think there will be some major focus and probably some refocus on that community. That's my hope. I hope to see that from eBay. We'll see.
John, I think that you're right in that there are quite a few people that think eBay is a very uncaring company. And during my early days on eBay, I kind of thought that myself. I admit that. That's why in my early videos, I had a little bit more negativity than I do over the last maybe 4 years or so. I'm a lot more pro eBay now. And what I think eBay really needs to do to help the community is to have more of these eBay on location events where they go to certain states and the local sellers or sellers from all over can come, get together, and interact one-on-one with the people from eBay and PayPal. I went to eBay on location in Philly in 2012, and I had the best time. The people from eBay and PayPal were the nicest people I've ever met. I had some concerns. They sat down with me one-on-one, they listened, and they addressed every single concern. And I think if they did that at least 4 times a year, the perception with eBay being uncaring would change like that. Don't you agree?
Yeah, there is something about it. Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. And there is something about the corporation versus the people in the corporation that you really brought to home when you just said that. It's that the corporation is an entity, but the people are people. And when you sit down with the people, you realize, like you said, these are great people. I have never met a person from eBay I didn't like. Okay, I'm going to say maybe one, but I'll leave that alone.
Okay.
But I mean, I hear things, and I'll give you a real good example. Back in 2009, now this is 2009, this is 5 years ago, guys. I met John Donahoe. He had just come on. They were having an event here and he had lunch with him and a couple of other sellers. Man versus the myth. And it changes everything, because here's this myth of, oh, he just doesn't care about the sellers and he just blah, blah, blah. And then you sit down and you're like, oh, man, what a really cool, nice. Here's the cool part. So last year I was at IRCE. I see him in the hallway. I'm like, John. He comes up to me. He's like, John, how are you? He remembered my name. He asked me about my mother, because he met my mother 5 years ago. I mean, it was just like, wow, this guy is just a genuinely good, nice person. However, you've got this myth out there, like, he's got horns coming out of his head and he's out after everybody. It's like, how do you deal with that? And I work at eBay. The people that work at eBay are wonderful people. And being able to sit down and talk to them, they don't know the other side until they hear it. So it's beneficial for us to be able to communicate with them, and it's beneficial for them, I believe, for them to be in the midst of us whenever they can. Absolutely. Love to see more of it.
I totally agree, John. And I think every eBay seller should have the opportunity to interact with the good people at eBay and PayPal. I just wish eBay would put more of these events out. And I think it may be the cost issue, because I understand that the eBay on location in Philly was quite costly for them to schedule. I think that might be the bottom line.
Yeah. We're doing happens every June. If you guys have never been, try to make that out. I think eBay wants to reach out and do more on locations, hopefully, or something similar, hopefully in the near future. I'm not really sure, but I know, one thing I do know is that Griff loves to get out and hang with the people. And if nothing else, you guys, there's an eBay radio show. You should always, if you got an issue, give him a call. Griff is 1,000% every time, man. He loves the community, and he's a voice for the sellers. He really is. He takes back what he hears from us and tries to get that addressed. And you can't, deny that there is at least that doorway for us. So if nothing else, do that, guys.
I agree. Griff is a really nice guy. I've met him in person. I've been on his show a lot of times. Plus, I've called in on my own many times. And Griff is, I believe, the oldest surviving eBay employee. I mean, he's been there since day one. Okay?
Close.
Yeah, he's been there forever. He is like a solid eBay employee. Everybody respects the guy. And like you said, if you have a problem and you call in with it, he will follow through. He's helped me out on a few things. He said, email me, and I emailed him the screenshots or whatever it was, and he came through with a resolution. Yeah. He's a genuinely nice guy, and so is Lee Mirabel, his partner on the eBay radio show.
Lovely.
Exactly.
I love her. Yes.
Good people. Are you going to go out west this summer?
For what?
For any of the eBay get-togethers?
Yeah, I'll be at eBay Radio in like 3 weeks, I think. 3 or 4 weeks. I think it's June 18th. Party. I'll be there. Can't
Excellent.
wait. It's 3 days this year.
Excellent. Excellent. We'll have to do lunch.
Oh, you're going to be there?
Yes. I've been asked to attend. I couldn't say no.
That is so cool. Oh, I can't wait. We got to get a selfie.
John, you're sent for.
Selfie. Yeah. I want a selfie.
Oh, it would be my pleasure.
You got it.
We can do it. We can do a little video segment together for YouTube.
Done. Done. Not a problem. Can't wait.
Excellent. Now, I understand you have some seminars coming up. Do you not?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I am. That is, it's called the e-business boot camps, and we're going around. And then we'll do a break because we're doing the eBay radio stuff, and then we're rebooting again, and we're coming to your area in August for the 13th and the 14th in. So definitely, I'm giving you an invite right now. I want you there. So we have to work on that. We have to make that.
Yeah, John. Unfortunately, when you were telling your schedule, a bunch of it got cut off with the audio and video problems we've been having on your end. So if you would send me the link, I'll drop it in the description box below so the folks can follow you.
No problem. 5 and 6 in Dallas, and then August 13, 14 in New York City. I will give you the information. Thank you.
Definitely. I will definitely be in your little seminar for New York. That's right next door.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm just outside of New York City right now.
How far away?
I'd say maybe 15 miles.
I'm jelly.
No reason to be.
I love it. I'd have to be outside too, man. It's just, oh my God, it's so expensive. It's crazy. But I love New York. So what else is going on?
Well, John, I hope when you come up here the weather's better, because right now, even though it's May 21st, it is 53 degrees out, cloudy and raw. It is cloudy here almost every day, bar none. I mean, you're down in Georgia, right?
Yes.
So what's it like down there now?
It's pretty normal. I just came back from Vegas last week, and it was cold in Vegas. Literally, I wanted to have a jacket. It was that cold.
Really?
It was weird. Yeah. So I'm in Vegas. I think it was like 55 degrees at night. It was like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
So the weather is crazy, dude.
It's all, especially the Northeast. The Northeast always gets the cloudy, nasty days.
But like you said, it's June.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Doing good business right now. What are you hearing?
John, unfortunately, the first part of your question got cut off with the audio problems we're having. All I caught was doing good business.
Saying, what's the biggest problem that you're hearing from your followers that is hindering their ability to do good business?
Right, okay. Well, I get people complaining, and they're entirely correct, about buyers not reading the auctions before purchasing. Buyers do not like to read listings entirely. They just see a pretty picture and they go and click on it. You know, they don't read, for instance, with me. I had an item last week where I have the part number and the exact measurements listed in the listing. I say, please, please check your part number before buying this item. Of course, I get a guy who bought the item, pays for it, gets the item, and says it's too small. I said, well, did you check the part number? No, it looked like it. So, I mean, I take returns, so I had to eat that one. But, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it can be annoying, and that's what a lot of people have been complaining about.
And we would have problems with sizing. And I mean, it's not a part, so they need to check the part number. I get that. We have it where I finally put a quarter in the to show the size of the product versus the quarter, and that reduced some of the sizing issues, you know. But we still get people that say, oh, you know, they'll send it back, say it's the wrong size. You know, there is only so much we can do to fix stupid.
You know, John, you have a lot of positive feedback. Over, I think, 94,000. That's a lot. I'm just under 10,000 myself, but at 94,000, I gotta look up to you, man.
Don't. That just means I've been beat up a lot.
Well, your feedback doesn't show it. It shows very good feedback.
The thing is, you know, if we have a multitude of feedback. We've been, you know, in the lower 90s now. I think we're mid 90s. I've been as low as like 90 or 89% at one point, and it used to bother me. You know, I used to be one of those, man, I got to stay at 100, and I just realized I'm not 100%. I understand that. 100% of my transactions are just not going to go well. And we're all about constantly making sure the customer experience is the best. And that means whether the customer is satisfied with his product or if he's dissatisfied with his product, we still want that experience to be. You don't like the way it tastes, make sure, hey, you want something different? No problem. You want your money back? No problem. You know, that's the kind of environment we want to give to our customers. And as long as I know that that's what we're doing, I'm always 100% happy with what we are doing because I know we're putting out the best that we can. And that's the best I can ask for in our feedback, honestly. I just know it's never going to be 100 no more. It's impossible. God. It's so many things.
It's hard, John, to keep 100% feedback. I don't dispute that. I mean, I have it now, but knock wood, man, it ain't easy.
Right.
People will get things and they want to return them and they want you to bend over and touch your toes sometimes. And, you know, I guess you do what you got to do when you're playing an eBay sandbox. But I will say this, eBay is, in my opinion, the best place to sell your items online, bar none. Do you agree with that?
No. Absolutely not.
Where do you actually have the best luck?
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, me personally, Amazon has been a really good channel for us. Now, that wasn't, I mean, if I reverse back to, 6 years ago, it was eBay. However, neither one of those to me is the best because what you said that's the best channel, bar none. Personally, I think the best channel is the channel that you create, right? So if you're actually driving traffic and a brick and mortar store and people walk in your door, I think that's the best place to sell things because you're not paying, of your fees, and you control. And I'm doing the air quotes for control because none of us really control all of our traffic, but you have more control over your traffic, your buyer experience, and things like that. Now, as far as marketplaces go, eBay is definitely one of the top marketplaces simply because you can use your own branding. It does allow you to have more control over the experience in the end than Amazon does. And then on the other side, Amazon, for certain products, has a lot of traffic, and that depends on if you're selling new versus used. It depends on, what category you're in, how easy it might be to be part of their catalog experience. There's a lot of different things. So it depends on what your desire is and what your product mix is to really find what channel will work best for you, because a lot of people I know are doing crazy things on Etsy, and I'm like just really learning about what the possibilities are over there. So I mean, different strokes for different folks. I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all for everybody. I think everybody has their own best channel, and it's cool.
I have a brick and mortar store too, John, which you got to see yesterday very briefly. But
hubcap.
When we decided to reschedule today, I decided it's better if I did it here. I didn't want the phone calls interrupting us and people walking in because you can never tell when that's going to happen when you're in a brick and mortar store. But since we were only on for 5 minutes yesterday, you didn't get to see any of that.
Well, I saw the hubcaps in the background. I'm like, okay, now I get it. Hubcap Joe's.
Right.
Man. I mean, seriously, I guess you still sell a lot of hubcaps.
A lot. And a lot more on eBay, too. Because eBay, there's a huge demand, especially for some of the hard-to-get items. The common stuff, I have no problem selling at work. Because people all drive common cars now. But some of the hard-to-get, like Jaguar or whatever, those are the things I have no problem moving on eBay. Yet, it's not something you'll see locally. John, I didn't get your last question.
That's okay. How long have you been doing the hubcap thing?
I started hubcaps when I was a little kid. I really mean this. I was 5 years old walking with my aunt in the Bronx, New York. 5 years old, we're walking to the supermarket, and a Pontiac comes rumbling by. Ching, 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 ching. The left front hubcap comes flying off as he's driving by us, and it lands on the sidewalk. And the guy slows down, and he backs up, and I'm looking at this rattle trap of a car. He's already missing 2 hubcaps on the passenger side. Now he just lost his 3rd one. He looks around, he don't see it, and he just drives away. So I said to my aunt, I'm going to pick that up on the way home and bring it back to the apartment. So sure enough, on the way home, it was still laying there. I picked it up and I brought it back. It was a Pontiac. And then I started, keeping my eye out in the neighborhood there and picking them up, where I would see them. And then I got to be known as the hubcap kid. I started collecting them, and it just evolved into what it is today.
Wow, that's a fascinating story, dude.
It's all
5 years old.
Yeah, I was 5 years old. I was in grammar school. I was still picking them up. And when I was in grammar school, kids really didn't break my chops too much about it because I was with like regular, normal, everyday blue-collar kids. But as I got older into high school, I was with a lot of white-collar kids that came from white-collar families. So I tried to keep it on the D-low, on the down low, because if they found out about it, they broke my chops a little bit.
Now, were you just collecting them, or were you reselling them then?
When I was little, I was just collecting them because they were neat to have. And then when I got a little older, I started selling them to a local junkyard just for like, soda money and ice cream money.
Enterprising.
Yeah, that's the way. I wish kids today would be enterprising like that. It's a shame, John. I really mean it, what the youth of today has turned into. There are kids, not kids, but 18, 19, 20, that do not know how to change their own tire. And it's freaking embarrassing. They have to come into my place. I'm a middle-aged guy, and they have to ask me, how do I change my tire?
That is pretty bad. I remember teaching mine. I was like, look, you're getting out this car right now, and you're learning. Because that's one thing, you are not going to be stuck on the side of the road because you got a flat tire. At least know how to change a tire.
Very important.
Very important.
It is.
The one skill.
But kids today don't even have like a part-time job after school or in the summertime in high school. Nothing. I always had a part-time job. I worked in fast food places. I worked in supermarkets. When I got my working papers, I've been working ever since that day. I have never in my life filed for unemployment. Knock wood. But today it's just a whole different story. Kids don't work.
Yeah. They have a lot of opportunity. I look at the kids today. They have a lot of opportunity. And like you said, they're not
they're not motivated, Mom.
Yeah. We did it to them. It's our fault.
Well, if I had kids, I'd say it's my fault. But since I don't have any, I can't say that.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You've watched. You've told them, man. I just remember, though, there was a study done, and they said that, like pre-teen, and back in the 50s, back in our day, not the 50s. I wasn't in the 50s, but 60s, 70s, whatever, back in our day, the actual, the scope of a child was about a 3-mile radius, and now the scope of a child is their block. They don't leave their block. And I just remember, man, when I was a kid, we were all over the neighborhood. Like if you were out scouting, hubcaps, you weren't standing on one corner. You were all over that neighborhood looking for that stuff. And I mean, we used to have so much more freedom to go around and do things. And today, crime against children is lower than it was when we were children. However, we act as though the world is so unsafe for our kids. And it's kind of the weirdest thing that I look, and kids, you don't see them playing out in the street anymore. They don't hardly ride their bike in the neighborhood. I don't get it. It's really a weird thing.
John, you're so right. When I was in middle school, like in the 70s, kids hung out with other kids. It was the healthy thing to do. During summer vacation, my friends would call for me at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we'd go out. We wouldn't come back home till 5 o'clock. We were out the whole day hanging out with other kids like normal kids acted in the 70s. Today, kids don't hang out with each other. If you go into any mall in your area, you'll see boys 15 years old walking around the mall with their mothers, holding their hands. You know, I look at that stuff, I almost want to throw up. It's no way. Kids need to interact with their peers for future. They need to learn how to interact with people that are their age, not adults. They need to play games. They need to get out from behind the computer. Stop going to the movies in the dark. It's just crazy. What's the world going to come to in 20, 25 years?
It'll be okay. Look, they're interacting like this.
Exactly.
That's how they interact with other kids, man. Hey, it's a different world. It's a different.
And it's safer, John. It's safer now than it was back when we were kids, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
There were some pretty bad things that happened when I was a young kid that happened to kids in my class that I saw, that I can verify. Very bad things, in fact. And we weren't taken seriously. And when the outcry got so loud, and we were so loud and vocal about what had happened, the teacher yelled at us and said, okay, that teacher is fired. He's done. But you're not to say a word about it. Like it was our fault that he did what he did.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy.
Right? Today, if that happened, John, Fox News would be out there with a freaking microphone sticking it right in the guy's face saying, why did you do this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Unbelievable. It's like a double standard.
We didn't talk about it. Crazy.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about old school?
I don't know. We got off on a tangent here.
But it's cool, man. It is very cool. See, you're a good guy. I like you. I like you.
Thank you.
No, not a bad guy. So, anyway, I will see you in a couple weeks, bro.
Definitely.
And we'll talk eBay, man. We'll talk some eBay. We'll give them some good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And
you know, I'm looking forward to this big time. At least we'll get to see some sunny days.
Fingers crossed. It'll be sunny. Check the weather.
Yeah. The folks from San Jose are coming too, you know.
Are they?
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's right. They are bringing some folks down. Cool.
They told me they're coming.
Cool.
It's going to be
Well,
big.
make sure you get some FaceTime.
Definitely. Definitely.
You know, get them on your show.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I do really want to thank you for this hangout and agreeing to do it and being very patient with me, especially yesterday, because the folks have no idea what you went through yesterday, John.
Well, I appreciate you too. I mean, guys, I apologize too. My system is still acting crazy. I'm on. But basically, my signal is my Wi-Fi is sucking right now. But so that's why I'm falling out every once in a while, or I might be blurry to you guys. But being willing to follow. See, it's doing it now.
I know it is. I know it is. Well, hopefully in a few weeks, or whenever you have some time, John, and it's resolved, we can do this again.
We're going to do it live in person.
Yes.
You can't be in Vegas. We're going to be together, and there won't be any bandwidth problems then.
Right.
All right?
All right,
Thanks,
John.
Joe.
Thank you. Rock on,
I'll
man.
talk to you later. I'm sending you the link right now.
Okay, boss.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks.